You're live on YouTube. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Shoot. Well, we'll wait for people to jump on. And I need to go back to this and put that here. All right, someone's on. All right. Facebookers, we're going to go live here, and we're going to go live here. 2, 1, boom, live. Hello, everybody. Denise Mazzola, NGO. Hang on, let me get this pointed down so you can see it a little better. Welcome to Monday at noon. And guess what? Today, we are going to be talking about reactive dogs because there's a lot of them, and you guys are dealing with them. And as you all know, if you're new to us, we also have a reactive dog. Her name is Big Mama Jubilee. She is out doing errands right now with Amy, but she is our reactive dog. So before I forget, in the comments, I'm just going to post this link. We have a reactive dog workshop, virtual, happening Tuesday, not tomorrow, Tuesday, March 9th. Oh, not March 0, March 9th at 6:30 p.m. And here's the link. There we go. Okay, perfect. So there it is in one place. And I will put it in this place, waiting for people to get on. Reactive Dog Workshop, virtual, Tuesday, March 9th at 6:30 p.m. It's recorded. If you can't be there live, not to worry. And here's the link. Okay. Perfect. All right, you guys. So if you're on with me, say hello. Tell me where you're from. Would love to know that. Did a quick little live this morning on bone broth. If you missed that one, it should be here somewhere for you to check out. But I want to turn the conversation around today. So many times when I talk to people, my clients, here's sort of the way it goes. I jokingly say, oh, let's make a laundry list of the naughty dog behaviors you have. So they say, I want my dog to stop barking. He needs to stop jumping. He needs to stop growling. He needs to stop pulling. And it's all about what we need the dog to stop doing. Okay, I get that. And it's all about what we need. We can't walk our dog if he's pulling us down the street. We need him to stop. We can't have guests and friends over because our dog jumps or growls or lunges at people. And all these things that we need our dog to stop doing. And I want to turn the conversation around today and talk about your dog's perspective. Sometimes, we only see our dog's needs through our needs. I need to pat and love my dog, right? No, right? That's not what Gio wants right now. And he'll tell you that in his body language in a few minutes. He'll move over, he'll start yawning, he'll get all stressed out. But he's not looking for that from me right now. But I need to love on him, so I'm going to love on my dog, okay? Or you get what I'm saying, that this, we put it through our lens about what our dog needs. And we don't consider the dog's perspective. We don't consider what they may be asking for by their naughty dog behavior. We don't consider their needs or their emotions. And your dog is all emotion, right? They are living, breathing, emotional beings. And we need to start. Hey, Georgette. Hey, Mary Lou. Come on, you guys. There's more of you on here. Let me know where you're from. Don't be voyeurs. I'd like to be able to say hello. It's really, dog training has really become a one-way street where we just do shit to the dog. We make demands of the dog without ever really considering the dog's perspective, okay? And so let me use an example since we've got a Reactive Dogs seminar coming up next week. If your dog is, hey, Nick, I love your post, Nick, on Facebook. Thank you for posting those. If your dog is, if you're out walking your dog and your dog is lunging and growling at another dog, what is your dog asking for? What does your dog need? You need him to stop because it's embarrassing as hell, because everybody starts judging you, get your dog under control and all that sort of stuff. And then maybe we react from that. But stop for a minute and let's look at it from the dog's perspective. What is the dog asking for in that moment? And if you guys have any suggestions, put it in the chat box, the comment section here on all the live places I am. What do you think your dog is asking for by their reactive behavior? Because they're asking for something. They are communicating. And so many people, dog trainers included, will try to shut that down. They'll put a shock collar on the dog and zap, 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 stop barking, stop lunging. Yep, it works. You're going to shut it down like crazy. But your dog is still an emotional being under all that, and they're still feeling whatever it is they're feeling. So in the chat box, what is your reactive dog asking for? What do you think they need from you at that when they are acting like jerks and you're embarrassed and feeling judged by everybody? What is it? Space. Yay, Mary Lou. Great. Mary Lou, I think you're a regular. So yeah, I would say usually the number one thing that your reactive dog is asking for is space. So does that mean that they want to get further away or closer? Let's be clear about what kind of space your dog is asking for. They want to get further away or closer. Everybody else can say things too. Distance, great, Georgette, absolutely. Anything else? I'm just looking at all the places. Okay. Right. They want to be further away from the dog, from the person, from the car, from the truck, from whatever it is your dog is reacting to. And guess whose responsibility that is? Yours. If your dog is on a leash, they can only make choices within 6 feet, right? That's it. And all of their communication is not heard usually, because I guess just we as a species, we as a human being species seem to feel like we need to control our dogs, and they need to do what we tell them to do, and they need to be compliant, and they need to listen to our commands. And if they're embarrassing me or risking pulling me down, all of that needs to stop. And I agree, it's embarrassing walking a dog that's reactive. I'm not saying, oh, just keep, walking your dog that's reactive, because they're screaming for help. Get away, move it away, right? But we have got to stop being so narcissistic and only thinking about our needs and our desires and what we want our dog to do. And we need to start accepting our dog as a living, breathing being that is full of emotion and is communicating all the time, right? Communicating in ways even beyond body language, right? We did a whole seminar on that. You can still buy it if you want, but that's part of it. But the reactive part, like when your dog is actually screaming, barking, lunging, growling, whatever, wow, like we're beyond body language now. The dog is verbalizing, get away. We need to start honoring and respecting that our dogs, they know what they want, and they know sometimes what they need. And why is it so hard for us to give them that? Why is it so hard for you to walk across the street and get your dog away from that other dog? I've had people say, well, I don't want to keep doing that. Why not? Is it that hard to walk across the street and give your dog the space that they need from the spider? Right? Because if they are afraid of dogs, if you've been on here before, you know I don't like spiders. Am I going to walk across the street if I see a tarantula? Yeah. I am going to run across the street if I see a tarantula. I'm not going to just hold my breath and put on my blinders and try to get by. I'm going to be like, no, I don't want to do that. It's too scary, too freaky. I'm out of here. I want space. I don't know if this is any better an example, but when I have 3 daughters, and when they were younger, we used to go to this local apple orchard, and you could, get donuts and pick apples, and it was really cool. And they had a little haunted house. Believe me, this is Keene, New Hampshire. It was not any big deal. And would they go in it? No, not a chance. We might step into it, and then when we all saw how dark it was, they were out of there. They're like, nope. It didn't matter what I said. It didn't matter what kind of rationalizing I used for them. It didn't matter what award or reward I offered. Oh, if we go through this haunted house, we'll get donuts at the end, or whatever it was. You get my idea. Nope, they weren't going to go into it. Ever. They weren't going to go into it. I still don't think they would. I might if Amy were there, but it's not my preference. To have the shit scared out of me on a regular basis through that. So if I won't drag my children through a haunted house, why would I drag my dog past another dog that they're petrified of? Why would I do that? They're asking for the same thing. They're saying, I don't want to. I'm too afraid. They're asking for space. Everybody would, I think, agree how cruel it would be and how selfish it would be. Whoops. Oh, God. Hold, please. Okay. Drop the hot dog or drop the meatball. If I had forced my kids to go through a haunted house, it'd be like, oh, my God, like, what kind of mother are you? But yet I see people all the time dragging their dogs past other dogs. Last year, at some point when I was on the Cape and I was walking Geo and I was behind a couple of people, small dogs, I did not realize the dog was reactive, or I would have chosen a different route. But I came up behind them. I was trying to scuff my feet and let them know that I was there as much as possible. And the dog started screaming, barking, just carrying on. And the woman, I don't have one, thank God, but I'm just using my water bottle. She was shaking her shaker bottle, right? Somebody told her to take a can, put some pennies or rocks in it, shaking at the dog. And she was like, no bark, no bark, no bark. And I'm like, oh my God. I know I did a Facebook Live right after this. I never talk to people when I'm out. One, because people don't want to hear what I have to say, just like they just don't. I turned around to her and I said, your dog is afraid, right? She's like, he's got to stop barking. He's got to stop barking. I'm like, I really want to say, get the F away from me then. Run in the yard. Go behind the bush. Like, get away from me until I can get out of your way. But I had nowhere to go. I could have just turned around, and I would have. But she was so adamant. And I'm sure that some trainer or some friend or whoever had said, oh, you gotta show him who's dominant. You got to shake that bottle at her and get her to stop barking. Well, what if we just listened to our dogs and said, oh, my God, I am so sorry that you are petrified of other dogs. I didn't know this dog was coming up. Let me run into this person's lawn and get you as far away as possible. Wow. What do you think your dog would say to that? Holy shit. They listened. She moved me away. Right? Like, I don't know. I'm obviously very passionate about this. It drives me crazy that we will not give our dogs a chance to talk, that we will not see them as having a right to tell us what they want and don't want. And can you all tell that Gio has moved away from me because I just swooshed on him with love, right? Well, that's not what he wants. He wants the hot dog. He wants the meatballs. And so he's not interested in love right now. We're going to do a YouTube video on consent. And has your dog given consent to whatever it is that you're trying to do to them? Love them, pat them, whatever. We'll get into that. So I would love for you to start asking yourself, what does my dog need? Not from your perspective, in this moment right now, what does Gio need from me? All he needs from me is for me to deliver those meatballs from the top of the camera to his mouth. That's all he needs. He doesn't need my loving. He doesn't want me to pat him or scratch his ears or do anything else. Singularly focused, right? It's like if I were really hangry, like if I had gone too long without food, boy, and I get headaches and shaky and super irritable. Just ask Amy or any of my kids, super irritable. And then you want to come up and like rub my back and what? I would be like, get away from me. No, 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 right? Not now. I need to eat first, right? Then we can talk about rubbing backs and whatever. And the other example I'll give you is years ago when I was laid off in the Humane Society, Rachel, my daughter Rachel, was still living at home. She came downstairs and she was asking me what I wanted for breakfast. And I woke up crying and I was still crying. And thankfully she asked, she said, do you want a hug? And I said, God, no, just stay away from me. She's like, okay, right? That's okay, right? We teach our children to not let other people touch them. I raised my kids. I can remember my grandmother, who is from Chile. She always wanted to hug and kiss the kids, and particularly Rachel had a little harder time with that. And I finally had to say, Grandma, please let her just be here for a little while and let her make the choice whether she's ready to hug you or not. So you're not sort of forcing yourself on her. And she was like, oh, okay. Oh, I didn't. She kind of chuckled. She's like, oh, I didn't know. Right? We teach our kids to say no. We teach when my kids were fighting, or one was like, hey, do you want to play? And the other's no. Hey, do you want to play? No, right? I might intervene and say, hey, listen, like Laura's saying no right now. She doesn't want to play. Can we find you something else to do? And maybe I'd help redirect her. But we would honor the no. We would respect the no. And we would teach our children to respect it, for themselves and for others. And yet, when our dogs scream no, we have to dominate them. We have to force them to do what we want. We have to throw them on their backs and do a freaking alpha roll or whatever, right? It's stupid. Why is that? Why is that? I don't know. Nick might have something to say about the human ego and maybe our wanting to control another living, breathing being. I'm not interested in controlling Gio. I am interested. A couple nights ago, what night was it? Saturday night, I sat on the couch. I had my computer. I put on a little Netflix, and I was going to do some uploading of videos on my computer. And this guy got up on the couch, which he's allowed to do, and he slowly walked over to me, and I kept looking at him like, it's okay. And he walked, and then he just splattered himself across my lap. And Olivia, who's moved home for a couple of weeks while she's waiting for her apartment to open up, she came in the living room and she just looked at me. She goes, Jesus, could he get any closer to you? I'm like, I think he's trying, but we're out of space right now, right? Total consent on both our parts. He kind of got up on the couch tentatively like, and I'm going to anthropomorphize. Can I get in your lap now? I'm like, yeah, totally fine. I'd love to have you come over here on my lap. And I encouraged him and, tapped my leg and had him come over to me. Great. But there are other times when I'm like, dude, no, get off the couch. You cannot be on me. And there's times when Gio says, dude, don't pat me. Don't love me. I'm not into that right now. I just want meatballs. And I've said it before. It needs to be communication with your dog is a two-way street. And the best way to help your dog is to start looking at things from their perspective, because they have a perspective. They have a right to say, no, don't touch me right now. Now, listen, if you have a dog that you can never touch or pat, or if you reached over and he wasn't in the mood, he was going to bite you and bite you and bite you. Okay, well, call me. You've got a bigger problem. But there are certain times that, but I think generally speaking, broad strokes here, our dogs are entitled to say, no, I don't want you to take this toy right now. No, I don't want you to pat me right now. No, I don't want to go for a walk right now. No, I don't want to walk down that street for whatever reason it is, right? And not have our egos so wrapped up that we have to dominate them and show them who's boss and all of that crap. I'm trying not to swear so much, but it's kind of, yes, Dorianne, further away. Great. Need space from the trigger. Absolutely. I'm just checking all the places. No comments on YouTube. Okay. So that's it for today. Start to think about life from your dog's perspective. Think about what they want, what they need from you. Yes, they need to be fed. Yes, they need water. Yes, they need to go outside and go to the bathroom. That's all pretty standard fare. But what are the emotional needs that either they need from you or that they need you to recognize? And I'll give you one more before I sign off. I know that Geo doesn't like young children. His breeder explained what happened. Some kid, when he was a puppy, either hit him or poked him with a stick. It doesn't matter. And it didn't need to be a lot to, he's a one learner dog. One bad experience, he's like, I got it. I don't need to repeat that again. I've seen him with kids. His eyes get enormous and he just goes like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Right? He's got a huge threshold for aggression. I've never heard him growl ever in the 6 years that I've had him. Okay. But I have a new grandbaby. Love him to pieces. Nick, his name is also Jackson. And so when he starts toddling around, I've already started to think about when I go to visit them, I don't take Geo. He stays home because they have a dog that's kind of crazy. And so when they start to come here, Geo will either be crated or downstairs or someplace else because he doesn't like kids. And I don't need to force my grandchild on him. I'm not going to convince him otherwise at this point. Maybe when the child is 5 and could start to ask for behaviors and deliver reinforcements, or if we went for a walk and Geo could be loose and I'm holding the hand of the grandchild. Yes, I see that all is very possible because Geo would have a lot of space and he could make the choices that he needs to make if he's loose on a trail and not either tethered to me or not in the confines of a small house. But those are the ways that I already acknowledge. I mean, can you tell that he's just moved away a little bit more? Because I keep either waving my arms or something. Okay. So yes, Nick, listen to each other's boundaries. Perfect. Georgette says, so am I wrong to use positive reinforcement to try to change the extremeness of the reaction, mostly with reinforcement and distance, no longer lunges and screams? Am I being selfish? No, Georgette, you're not, because you are addressing Buck's underlying issue, which I'm pretty sure is fear, right? So you're giving him the distance that he requires. You're not just dragging him around other dogs, and you are using high value food to address that emotion and try to change his conditioning so that he's like, oh, dogs, $100 from Georgette? Perfect. Let's go find another dog, because every time I see a dog, Georgette's giving me $100. I kind of like that. Now, Georgette and I have been working together, so I know that Buck has had several attacks, dogs busting out of garages and front doors, seem to make a beeline, and he just moved away from me a little bit more. I'm not going to personalize it, right? I'm not going to move closer to him or any of those things. But anyway, I'll lure him back with a piece of meatball. No, Georgette, you're not being selfish. If you weren't addressing those things, if you weren't giving him the space, I know that sometimes I think you're still using a prong collar. If you're popping him with the prong collar to get him to stop barking or lunging, which a lot of people do, then yes, my personal opinion is those folks are being super selfish. They're saying, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Let's just walk. Let's just walk. Stop it. You're embarrassing me. Let's go. Let's go. Prong, 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 prong. Right? And they're not underlying the dog's emotions. They're not saying, oh, wait a minute. I get it. You're afraid. Imagine, I guess I'll go back to the haunted house. To pick any of the kids, Laura, Rachel, Olivia, none of them would go into a haunted house. If I just had one, then I took her by the arm. I said, come on. What would the word be for a girl? Don't be a sissy. Be strong. Let's go. Be brave. Come on. And I dragged her through that haunted house to prove to her that she could do it, to prove to her that she could be strong, to prove to her what? All she would know coming out of this is, holy shit, I can't trust my mother, right? She'd definitely come out of that experience saying, my mother's effed up. I can't trust her. Like, not going to do that again. She'd be petrified. She would be petrified of and then whatever happened in the haunted house, all the other things that would sensitize her, would be a nightmare. And, oh, great, Georgette. So folks that are using shock collars or prong collars to get dogs to stop doing something are just saying, listen, I don't give a shit about how you're feeling. I don't care, doggy, what your emotions are. You just need to cut it out so that we can go for a walk and I'm not so embarrassed. Me. That's what I'm saying. And Georgette, you're not doing that because you are working a counter conditioning program. All right. I'll drop it in again. I have put the link. We do have a Reactive Dog seminar coming up Tuesday, March 9th. Great information. Amy is the lead instructor on that. We kind of alternate so that we're both out there. Would love to see you. It's live on a webinar, so you're able to type in questions. It's also fully recorded, so if you can't be there live, you'll get a recording of it. You can watch it anytime. You'll have access to it through all of 2021. Now, I've put out a call for video before. I didn't get any, but I'm going to ask again. If you have video of your dog's behavior, of their reactivity, please send it in to us. Send it before next Monday at noon so we have time to look at it, get it downloaded or uploaded, whatever we're going to be doing with it. But we would love to work with your actual video, so send it on in. You can send it to my email, which is info, put that in, info at everythingdognh.com, and I will take a look at it and reach back out if I need anything else. Info at everythingdognh.com, putting it in all the places. Can I just copy it? Okay. Sometimes I remember these things. Okay, guys. There it is. All right, signing off on YouTube. See you guys later. Adios.